series tonight. Winner of this will go on to play Excellence in the winner's bracket of the playoffs. However, all you need to do is win and you make it to LAN. If you lose this, you will fight against Elevate GG, and the winner of that series will then also secure that third and final spot to Cologne, Germany.
So, not quite as much pressure as we had last week, but still a lot of pressure to try and get the initial win here. Vertical Gaming and FlipSid both going to not want to go up against Elevate GG. You know, there's an extra little hurdle that neither of them really wants to deal with. We are going to have VG starting in the top floor here on their defense, and they are actually going to reinforce the B wall. We've seen two different ways of defending the B-bomb site, one being opening up the wall intentionally, and then trying to play from, this is an interesting bear trap here.
10 seconds left.
That, okay, just a little bit of a wasted.
No, he's still trying to lay it down. I don't think I've seen many players actually hop onto this desk before.
It might be,
I
was going to say maybe in an attempt to try and counter the anti-C4 play, because one of the things you're going to do if you know someone's C4ing from below is vault up onto a desk, because that's going to negate the C4. However, unless Bandit has a C4, there is no C4 on the defensive lineup right now, so I'm not sure what the plan is there. Although I would love to talk with Slashug about it later, see see exactly what he had to go going into that thought process.
Now we are going to see FlipSid try to push into this corner office. Chala's going to be the Blackbeard on this windowsill. Looks like he's going to challenge Avian and actually get the win, get the shots down. Hot and cold there, also picking up a kill onto King George. This is looking like a very quick round potentially in favor of FlipSid.
Yeah, FlipSid just poking holes in through the windows and getting the picks that they need.
Now the Super 90 on Frost is not a typical pick anymore. Used to be a guaranteed choice of weapon, but that's not what we have seen lately.
The weapon used to be called the Sniper 90, and since then has been nerfed, yeah, it is an interesting pick.
Now Eclipse going to get a couple bullets tagged down. I believe that was from the Skylight here. It looks like Mint looked his way forward. Young, though, will take out Hot and Cold. Chala gets a trade on the Slash, though. And as we have Young pushing on out, Adams there to turn to the side and pick him off. Eclipse, though, will get Mint down. And the last final kill will be Chala grabbing a 2K, finishing off Eclipse. And that will be round number 1 going to FlipSid Tactics.
Good round there to FlipSid. However, kind of have to hand that a little bit to Vertical Gaming. The fact that VG peaked so very aggressively onto the FlipSid holds. I mean, all FlipSid really had to do was just kind of open up windows, wait for Vertical to peak, and get the kills. And that's exactly what happened. You saw the round was over before FlipSid even started pushing into the building.
Now, we do have just a little bit of some technical difficulties. We're going to get back underway in the game momentarily, just tweaking a couple things. The game is still being played. Prep phase is now underway. And what we're going to be seeing here, if I glance at the screen correctly, we're going to see that top 4 hold there from FlipSid.
It would stand to reason that FlipSid is going to go upstairs, as that is usually the first site defended from the majority of teams in the Pro League.
No, they've actually gone downstairs here.
No, they've opted to go downstairs. All right, slightly different, I suppose. We are going to see barbed wire in the hand of Chala, but it's not actually barbed wire. That's his primary weapon, and as he reinforces that drop down, it's going to make the barbed wire sound. Meanwhile, FlipSid seemingly going to have a very hard roam game off of the basement, as you can tell here by the fact that they've opened up that drop down in Projector. Adam's going to be the one roaming upstairs, and he's just going to try and apply as much pressure onto a VG attack as VG pushes into the piano, which is oh so typical. Now the question is, will VG try to clear from top down, as we've seen happen quite a lot in recent meta, or will they simply try and push into the garage?
Looks as though we've already got Avian working his way towards garage, and Young's going to follow suit behind him. Eclipse looking for this Valkyrie camera, which he knows was thrown out, but I don't think he saw to the left of the gate. Now this is one of those maps that is very fluid in its roam game. The roamers typically will start up top or even underneath, and they have the ability to use all 3 staircases, unless they're obviously quartered off by the attackers, but they have the ability to go up from the basement floor to the top floor throughout any of the 3 staircases in this game, which is a unique factor in the gameplay.
VG looking to take control over this main lobby and piano, and they have done just that, but the worry is that they have to have Adam, who will be coming from behind at any given moment. VG's going to have to keep a close eye on these drop downs, which are open above both Piano and the main lobby. They have now been able to get the bandit off of the main garage, though, which is going to allow Avian to thermite open the panels.
There is Mint. He's going to be upstairs. Adam, however, has rotated back down. I think he's going to come down the circle stairs, possibly get droned out here. No, it's not. Looks like Eclipse is going to forego double-checking those stairs. And Adam just looking around. Mint sees the shot, goes for some bullets. Eclipse saying, all right, I've got a skeleton key, and I can open up the floor if need be, but instead he's going to go over towards the piano.
Yeah, because of this vertical pressure coming from above on the from Adam and Mint both. Oh wow, Eclipse with a nice push up the yellow stairs will take out Mint, and he will be refragged by Adam. Good double play on that roam.
That trade is going to force Slash to come up the yellow stairs and also be taken out by Adam. A good double kill. And however, losing Mint early on, or not, quote unquote early on, there's only 45 seconds left. Losing him as the first operator isn't necessarily that bad because he's able to maintain control of that top stairs. Adam's still going to walk away, limping nonetheless, but he still has enough health to engage again.
Yeah.
The garage has been opened up. Shala going to be at the back of the white van, hot and cold inside a kitchen. Pojo Man's going to move his drone over, get his yokai in position to stop this plant that's going to happen in the next 20 seconds. Avian's going to hold on to that diffuser. King George still up top. He's now back downstairs by garage. They're going to have to push in. Avian's going to go for this plant here. Flashbang's going to come out, but the yokai is going to possibly win this round as long as Pojo can stay alive. There's one. There's going to be another. He's going to tag him out. Avian just cannot find it. He's going to go into the middle. There, shots go down. And we are going to see Adam secure a 4K round number 1. And this is going to be FlipSid making a statement. I'm sorry, round number 2 making a statement here. It's now 2-0.
So what happened there for Vertical Gaming's attack? They were unable, well, they didn't clear out the top floor, and because of that, as they pushed in through piano and main lobby, those two players trying to establish vertical control over the basement hold saw themselves flanked. And because that buck got taken out early, he was unable to actually apply any pressure to the back of white, to pipes, to even inside of kitchen from piano or bathroom hallway. Now, the more important factor of that actually is that it meant King George had to come off of his push of those yellow stairs in an attempt to hold the flank. And when that happened, it was only 2 vertical players pushing in through the main garage. And then it just was not enough pushing power, and Adam came from behind, utilized that vertical game that VG was attempting to use against VG's attack.
Now, one of the time-honored questions that we constantly see debated about in strategies is how many attackers do you invest in trying to flush out the roamers? Here on that last round, round number 2, we saw 2. We saw 2 attackers put in position to try to clear out the roamers. That failed. And as we saw, they then did not invest any more to try to finish off Adam. And that's kind of the debate when one of the big factors when determining a strategy is how are you going to clear out the roamers? How many operators are you going to invest in that?
I mean, in the previous week, we saw from the European League a complete clear from top to bottom for roam games when it came to basement defense. It was you were clearing from all the way over by admin, which is the far eastmost room of the building, straight over to piano. So you cleared out those 2 top floors before even applying any pressure to the basement. And we saw VG in that last round just completely ignore that. Just say, hey, you know what? We're not going to worry about the top floor. We know they're there, but we are just not going to worry about it. Instead, we're going to opt on trying to just push on in straight through piano, open up that vertical, and then push in through garage. And it just was not the right policy there for vertical. We'll see if they choose to adapt moving forward or if that's actually going to work against them again. You can see the opposite here from FlipSid as they are actually clearing top to bottom on this basement attack.
Yep, you can see Adam and Chala working together, clearing out the yellow stairs. And I want to say there's very little roam game happening from VG on the main staircase, or on the main floor. Looks like that might be, I want to say, Eclipse, who's on the circle stairs. Floor's going to get opened up above Avian. And now he's going to have to back on off of the windowsill, or off of the garage wall, as Slash tries to encounter a little bit. C4s come on out, miss their target, and that's going to allow Pojo Man to open up this wall right in front of the van. Shots from Eclipse will go down onto Hot and Cold, finish him off by the circle stairs. He's going to navigate back downstairs towards the servers.
So despite VG not having as much of a roam game in this round that as FlipSid did in the previous, they are still able to get that pressure on from the behind and get a kill. That's going to really put a lot of dents in the FlipSid attack that they have the man disadvantage. Pushing into the garage is a difficult task 5-on-5. Now 4-on-5, it's going to be even more complicated.
And we still have Chala, who's on the top floor waiting for a heavy rotate from VG, but it's not going to work out. It's not going to happen because everyone is downstairs on site. Mint still trying to cause a lot of distraction and chaos onto Avian, force him away from the van, which now, with these floors getting opened up, this is all up to Pojo to try to go for a silent plant potentially. With the no yokai to stop this, Young is going to be the only one that can easily stop this plant from going down. Flashbang's going to come out here from Adam, trying to push into kitchen. Hey, there's the gas grenades. That's going to be 2. That's all 3. Now we're going to have Pojo Man try to push his way in. Slash picks up a kill into Adam. 4-on-3. Shala gets taken up by Slash, a double kill. Pojo Man's going to be one of the only men left to go. Pistol kill is going to come out from Slash. Goes for the kill. He misses the target, but then hits it. Young picks up that kill, and we're going to have VG secure round number 3. And that's going to be 2-1, still in favor of FlipSid.
So a straightforward push in through the main garage, not going to work for FlipSid. No other real pressure. They did have the vertical holes being opened up. Now that was very important. It did actually take care of the behind white van hold, which is basically essential when you're pushing in through the garage. But despite that, it just wasn't enough for FlipSid. And I have to imagine if they'd been able to get those drop downs open without having their Hibana taken out earlier by Eclipse, then it might have been a different round. Now FlipSid going to be defending that first floor, the main lobby and piano room. This is not typically the second site defended, but it's just what FlipSid have chosen to go for here. As we said, every time we see Consulate played, all 3 of these bomb sites are defensible and completely viable, which is so abnormal for maps in Rainbow Six.
Yeah, one of the things that I did like about FlipSid's attack previously on the previous round was the fact that what they seem to have been doing was, like you said, opening up the floor piano, trying to give a lot of distraction and a lot of pressure on different, we'll call it non-garage door avenues to the site, which allowed Pojo Man to get in. Just unfortunately, FlipSid did not win their engagements. But ultimately, they left it up to saying, Pojo Man, you just need to push in at the time, and we'll try to cover you as best as possible.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, it's interesting that FlipSid decided to try and go so aggressively when they had no smoke canisters. There were no smoke canisters left. They heard all of them detonated. There wasn't an echo to try and stop the defuse plant. They could have just easily held outside of the garage and like put Thermite in by himself to try and get that defuse plant. But they just tried to make the full push, and it obviously in that instance was the wrong call. But I guess I kind of understand the reasoning behind it. But you know, unfortunately, it did cost them a round. Now, FlipSid, they're going to be roaming pretty heavily on this top floor. There are 2 ways to hold. Well, there's many a way to hold the middle floor. You can hold from below as defenders. You can hold from above as defenders. I mean, you can hold from anywhere you want to, any of the floors, because C4 can reach every nook and cranny from both top and bottom.
And we're going to have King George trying to lead the forefront here to clear out this top floor. Shala's going to drop here. It is with 2 members left from FlipSid top side. However, I believe Pojo Man also backtracked a little bit. Adam will be the only man here on site. He's going to be inside of the connector on the bookshelf, trying to stay covered here as VG is going to be collapsing onto here momentarily. They've droned out. Looks like Avian may have droned him out there. Seen him.
So that's just giving away his position regardless of the droning. And now
there are 3 members here. He's going to just come for the fight. He's going to tag 1, goes for another, but misses the target, and that's going to be a Blackbeard. I think the head shield may have been destroyed. No, he's going to have to change it on out.
Not destroyed, but at least damaged.
Yes.
As you can tell by King George rotating it. But now VG have full top floor control. That was a good job by Adam, not dying outright for no reason. And we'll see how VG choose to use this top-down control. There looks like they're positioning themselves to go for a main lobby push, as the diffuser is outside the main lobby door on Young right now.
I was going to say that if you take out 1 operator on the vertical gaming lineup, it's going to be the Buck, especially seeing as how he did not get too much, if any, vertical destruction opened. Now, this is what you were talking about underneath. You've got the C4s able to get tossed out from Pojo Man. He's waiting for that dead heartbeat sensor that dead heartbeat to be steady inside of the site. Looks
Nice
like a
kill.
double down here. Slash will pick up the kill there on the Mimp, but be down in the process.
The bomb diffuser has been planted though, as FlipSid only have players downstairs, and it seems like Pojoman was a little too fixated on that Ash.
There it is. It looks as though Chawa will pick up that down Slash, and a 3-on-2 with Pojoman trying to clear the top floor. He spots Avian, but also goes for the drone instead. King George will pick up the kill to Pojo. Last man's going to be Chala, and unfortunately, this is not looking like it's going to be in favor of FlipSid. We're going to be back here. Round number 4 will go into the favor of Vertical Gaming.
Yeah, no, he's got to deal with one player outside and 2 above. The 2 above have such an advantage overall, and then on top of that, the guy outside could be anywhere. Chala's unable to really kind of predict that. Now we will have the 2-2, I believe it is. Nice comeback here from Vertical Gaming. I mean, we all knew this was going to be a close match, but it's being proven here. Absolutely. Capital coming up for FlipSid. It'll be interesting to see where that chooses to be used. Well, where they choose to put those fire arrows. You know, whenever you bring a Capital, it is for a very specific purpose. He can't just be blanket picked as, oh, you know, we'll clear out some barbed wire here and there, like Ash,
yeah.
or we'll reopen a reinforced wall here and there, like Thermite or Hibana. In Capital's case, you have to know where those fire arrows are going to find themselves. He's not just a whatever pick. VG are going to defend the first floor. We've seen no successful top floors so far from either of these teams, and nor have we seen any first floor successful defenses. We'll see exactly how it is that VG choose to go about this floor, as FlipSid lost it previously.
10 seconds to go.
Looks like they're going to fully reinforce that projector room wall.
5 seconds remaining.
And they're also going to castle off the balcony windows. Now this is interesting.
Recovered the bomb diffuser.
It looks like they might have a hard hold inside of a projector room. Now this doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks as though it's just merely to make sure that they can maintain control of this particular room above the A site, or above the B site.
There's very little cover inside of that room when you actually have the bomb site up there, and the little cover that is there is the bomb itself.
Yeah.
It's the only hard cover in that entire room from the balcony. Now, playing aggressively in there, yes, you've got castle barricades, but those can just be broken. It's so dangerous.
Oh, Avian with a very good flick there onto Adam. He is being collapsed upon. He's going to rotate back into the copy room and still be spotted out there by the shock drone. He's got about 13, I would say 15 to 20 health left on him. He's now, after killing the drone, going to move his way back inside Pojoman, taking that para and onto the face of Slash. 4-on-4 still.
Slash trying to utilize his cameras there and peek out through the front door unsuccessfully. He would have had the back of 3 different attackers. That is unfortunate there. But despite that fact, we will have an even man count.
Ooh, Avian gets picked off there. That's going to be by Mint there, repelled up onto the windows where Adam was previously. And can he get here in time? No more Twitch drones, so therefore there's a shot down. Eclipse realizes, hey, I'm just going to go back to my post here by the yellow stairs, not try to get Avian. And Chala trying to hold down this rotation from that balcony above the B site.
This is the safe play here from the Blackbeard. We're covering that angle as safely as he can. We still see here from VG a lot of pressure onto the basement, and this is similar to what FlipSid was doing. But as you can see, King George is actually underneath the main lobby, where he will be able to stop the defuse plant that we saw come out from VG in the previous round, if that's what FlipSid's plan is. FlipSid has full control over the top floor, but they don't know it yet as they're taking this nice and slow. The time is wasting away now as they attempt to drone out the rest of this top floor. They're only going to have about 40 seconds left when they actually make the site attack because of their caution here.
Now, if they wait until the final moments there, they're going to jump down the circle staircase. Most likely that's going to be Mint. And you have Eclipse waiting at the top of those stairs. You also have King George underneath with that C4. So they're going to have to do something very quickly and decisively to make sure that it goes in their favor. There looks like they're going to drop down through the hatchway inside a reception area. King George, however, will be there with a C4 in hand, ready to go. He's going to give away his position by popping off a couple UMP shots.
seconds to go.
Eclipse is navigated back into the hallway. He's going to turn around. Looks like Pojoman getting spotted out. He'll be taken out of commission. 3 on 3, 5 seconds left to go. They're going to have to drop on down. Eclipse will be seen. Mint's going to go for the push here. Takes him down. However, the plant will go down here. And it looks as though King George, no C4 in hand. Plant will go be successful. Young going to try to rush in. He'll be taken out. Wonderful job there. No defender's going to win. Chala, look, he might have gotten the kill, but the gas looking like he took him out.
Yeah, so you cannot plant in ESL rules because of the plant timer being extended. It takes longer to plant the diffuser. If a gas canister gets plopped on you in the first 2, I think, seconds, then you cannot plant successfully as anyone. It will down you before you can actually get that all the way down. So because FlipSid took so much time clearing out the top floor, even though it was clear, they ended up not having enough time in the take into the bomb site itself. It would have been a successful attack if they had but 20 more seconds.
Yeah, the diffuse and the diffuse timer is 7 seconds to plant it in ESL settings. In normal, casual, and ranked play, I believe it is 4 or 5 seconds.
I think it's about 5, but regardless, it's so much slower or faster in ranked than it is in ESL. And now we're gonna have FlipSid going back down into the basement.
Attackers have discovered the location.
And it is VG walking away with their first lead of this map.
Yep, so they were down by 2 points. FlipSid took the first 2 rounds of this map, and Vertical Gaming saying, we're gonna come back and bring it in our favor here.
3 in a row. That's quite an impressive scoreline against FlipSid.
5 seconds left.
However, this was one of the sites that FlipSid was successful in defending. So we'll see if they're able to start their own comeback. The counter comeback, so to speak, here on Consulate.
Comeback from the comeback. VG again going to try to push in from this northwest spawn out by gas station. Very clearly trying to pre-fire some of the common locations which pros try to spawn peek from, whether it be the window of the yellow staircase or the doorway of the same stairs.
Now, the question is, will VG place emphasis on clearing out these roamers, which we have on the top floor again from FlipSid? This time it's going to be Mint and Adam. Or will they wait too long, pushing into the main lobby and piano, and not actually clear top to bottom? Now, that's what happened last time. VG ended up getting collapsed upon by those 2 roamers and losing the round because of it. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to be doing the same exact attack strategy, not putting any emphasis on the roamers at the top floor from FlipSid. This might play well if they're ready for it, and I'm sure they are. However, it's still very risky.
Now, Eclipse did take a couple shots from underneath. He's down to about 30 or 40 health, but walls of Garage are getting opened up successfully here by Avian.
Yeah, panel 3 just now being opened up.
Now, it looks as though they will not push onto the roamers, which, as we've mentioned before, is what led to the downfall of their attack last time.
Yeah, Adam's going for that slow roam flank from the Visa right now, and it might be successful. We'll see if he catches Slash and Eclipse off guard. Young gonna get the first kill of this round, though, on T'Challa. That's a good start for the attack. It's all the way from the SUV outside of Garage.
Now, Pojoman does not need to be overly aggressive in that position. He's got full line of sight of Garage, so when someone tries to push in. As I say that, though, he just tilts to the left and says, bye-bye, Young. He'll be taken out of commission. Now, the push is going to come in here momentarily by Slash and Avian. Avian's right up against the wall. He's waiting for that perfect opportunity. Still a very slow roam here by Adam, but it could prove to be very useful. He's going to call out 1. He's going to call out 2 inside of the vans. Now it looks as though Hot and Cold's going to go for a peek, but Avian's already there for the coverage. And a shot from Eclipse will land onto Adam, take him out. Pojoman will finish off Avian, though. A trade back down from Slash, and we are going to have round 6 go in favor of VG, with King George getting the final kill of the round onto Mint.
So this time, because FlipSid's roam game didn't get any work done, VG had the room to breathe and just simply pushed into the main Garage with their full force. And they got that round win. Now match point in favor of VG. 4 rounds in a row, an impressive streak to say the least against FlipSid.
Definitely here, and we are going to be witnessing the bomb site go back downstairs for VG into the Garage, where they successfully held the site previously. So they are looking to just finish out this map in a very decisive way, we'll say.
The majority of the successful defenses have been in the basement, I think, on this entire map. We saw, of course, Vertical, I think, successfully hold against FlipSid, but it's all right. You know, it was very close. Again, I talked about if FlipSid had had 20 more seconds in that round, it would have likely been a successful FlipSid attack, but they spent too much time clearing the roamers. VG have got to be very confident, though, here on this defense.
Now, one of the strategies for holding this bottom site, which we haven't necessarily seen just yet in this series, has been investing into that middle bathroom on the first floor. We've seen that work well, we've seen it not work well for teams, especially coming out of the Latin American scene. And it looks as though for VG and FlipSid, we will not be seeing that today.
Opting for that heavier anchor strat onto the bomb site. Like that mirror window in the main hallway. That's going to give multiple angles to work with there for whomever is playing inside small office, assuming the FlipSid attack doesn't pressure from the back hall. Looks like FlipSid starting to apply their little bits of pressure here and there. Nothing serious. Hey, they're going to spot out Avian in this main lobby. He might get away safely, though. Yeah, he will. Very dangerous play there from Avian, but he is going to slow up the F3 attack. That's going to make F3 just so much more cautious here. And we have seen caution be the downfall of FlipSid in the past in this map.
And allowing Avian to rotate all the way upstairs is not necessarily the best thing. Adam, however, will work his way to the top stairs and pick off Eclipse, but then a trade from Slash will finish off Chala. That's going to be the Blackbeard.
If there's any operator on attack you want off the board, it's going to be Blackbeard. Having him not in play is going to allow VG quite a lot more versatility here.
Now, because Avian did manage to navigate away after being droned out inside the lobby, FlipSid probably believes that he went downstairs. However, he was able to rotate up, he went up the Visa staircase, and he's now undetected. Wall will get opened up here by Garage. That's going to be Tojo. Slash going for aggressiveness, takes him out. Wonderful job. He must have known it. He must have seen it with the Valkyrie camo, or at least just played into the site. And Adam picking up another kill here onto Young Avian, now trying to come around for this flank, all the way up from Visa stairs, all the way up around top floor, coming down the yellow stairs. And it looks as though some members from FlipSid are scattered around inside of the piano room as well as main corridor. Slash will finally be taken out. That's a 3K for Adam, trying to single-handedly get this for his team. Avian, again, to work on over. Shots down, Adam with a 4K. Coming on over, he's going to try to get King George in a 3-on-1. King George is known to be inside of kitchen as well as the middle closet. King George looks on up, tags a headshot on him in. 2-on-1, 30 seconds left to go. Get that plant down. Adam with a 5K ace to finish off King George. Get round number 7 back in favor. Keep FlipSid in the running for winning this map.
So I have to say, that did seem very much like a VG round. They looked very confident, and strategically they had everything going in their favor. They had that flank from behind, that bandit, that would have locked it out. However, Adam was just like killing everybody one by one by one. That was just through and through an Adam round. Great job on what I believe was an ace. Now Garage Cafeteria going to be FlipSid's next defense, and we'll see if they're able to make it work and get it into overtime here on Consulate. Now, this was, of course, FlipSid's pick, Consulate. You can see there, Adam up with 12 kills.
Ash Jaeger main score up there.
Yeah, he's got twice as many kills as anybody else. He's feeling very confident and at home on Consulate, as you can tell.
But again, some of that comes down to the communication that the team has.
Yes.
Allowing Adam to get those kills, calling out, okay, I died here, he's right in this angle, he's going to be going through this corridor, go and pre-fire it. Go up to over here, cover this flank.
Yes, of course.
10 seconds left.
You know, a lot of what Pro League comes down to as a player is really just finding yourself in positions and not messing it up. You know, getting a kill isn't always just one person being spectacular and like, oh, he's amazing, he gets all these kills. It's him finding himself in a position to get said kill, whether it be his teammates calling that out or him just being in the right spot at the right time and not messing it up. And you can see here Adam just not making mistakes right now.
He's just capitalizing on the opportunities that his team is giving him, and the enemies are providing him, I will say.
FlipSid going to be going for a roam game inside of the bathroom. and the piano, one we've talked about but not seen in this map so far. It's going to be FlipSid to start us off with this, and it will, I believe, mean that Vertical Gaming is going to go for a roam into the top, or so not a roam clear into the top floor to try and get rid of this piano hold.
Now we are going to have the wall get opened up here of Garage. And there it goes. Chala, unfortunately, not going to be able to get rid of the charge in time.
A bomb has been located.
And that will force Chala back behind the white van. Mint's going to be by pipes as Young looking to possibly tag another kill from a distance.
Young's been doing some good work outside of the garage here on these panels in previous rounds.
Now the only roamer above is going to be Eclipse. He's still trying to work his way, I believe, inside. He's either in piano or the corner office. He's corner office right now, trying to clear out these roamers, which FlipSid has done previously. Adam, he might be moving in, and I think Eclipse hears him. And so does Adam. Now this is going to be up here. Looks like Adam with the upper advantage. He will take off the head of Eclipse. That's going to get rid of Buck, and unfortunately, that's going to get rid of one of the most destructible operators here for the points of...
Ooh, the run out from Adam.
Wonderful run out. Adam going to go for 1 kill. Goes for the knife. Tags another down, and that's going to be 1 kill on Mint. 1 kill on Adam. He gets back into sight. Diffuser has been dropped, and King George, last man alive here on the yellow staircase. Shield gets broken. Head gets removed. Adam with a 2K. We're 3K there. Wonderful job by Adam. He's just lighting up the sky, killing off the Buck, jumping that over to the balcony, knifing the Thatcher, and then picking up the kill on the Blackbeard.
Yeah, good play there from Adam, being a man of every single floor on that round. Now we do see overtime, ladies and gentlemen, between FlipSid and VG. This was, of course, FlipSid's map pick, so they are the ones who ideally want to be coming out on top. In that last round, VG opened up the garage. They had control that they needed. They were making their standard push that worked previously for them. But unfortunately, Adam was kind of just there to say nope.
Adam has his own thing to say about it. Now, I don't want to jinx Adam, but we've seen some 15 kills. We've seen an 18 kill before. I don't recall ever seeing a Pro League match where we've seen 20 kills.
Well, you know, I'm trying to recollect, and I'm right there with you. I don't think we've ever seen it. I think the most I've ever seen is around 17.
We had a 17 or 18 last week, I want to say.
I had a 17 way back in like season 1, but other than that, I don't remember any 20s. I think you're right. I think that was probably it would be the first one if he actually makes that, which would be very impressive, especially going against VG.
Yes.
Oh no, my 17 wasn't. No, my 17 wasn't in Pro League. It was in a Go for. I'm recollecting fully here.
Drone is ready to go.
Now Adam is going to be looking here. Slash might be going for a peek momentarily. He's got his Valkyrie camera outside, waiting for any sign of someone pushing over. This is what he's waiting for. He's waiting to see someone's going to rappel onto the yellow stairs window. Oh, Slash, he wants it. He wants it. But he's going to peek on over and say, no, I cannot get
This
a
is
C4
dangerous.
tossed up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have FlipSid pressuring him for the front side, the south side of the building. And it's dangerous to be playing this position. You can see Adam's going to be going in, putting himself at the top of the stairs. And then he's going to start to apply pressure again onto this roam game in the main lobby. Again, a very dangerous play here from Adam. But Slash, it doesn't look like he's going to be prepared for it. No, he will actually just rotate all the way down Spiral. Smart play there.
Yeah, he might have heard the grunt from Ash falling.
Yeah, possible.
Now Chala's still trying to hold down the rotation along the top floor. Last time he was unsuccessful in doing so, and Adam had picked up the trade. We hear the Hibana charges going off. I want to say that's going to be the drop hatch. There it is, the drop hatch of the bathroom. Right above that B site.
Now, so full control over the top floor has been given to FlipSid. I don't think we have any VG roamers, although I'm not entirely sure. Nope, no,
they're
none.
all on site.
All on site, which means that FlipSid is going to be free to work their way into the bomb site. And they still have a whole minute to do it. Avian going to miss the shots, but so is Adam here in this fight. That's going to result in neither of them taking damage nor dying. Now the garage is getting opened up. Slash hug.
Wonderful kill from Slash coming up the yellow staircase to pick off Adam.
You see here VG with some unprecedented aggression, whether it be through the garage panels that have been opened up or just straight onto the yellow stairs. They're pushing out both of the angles.
I think we jinxed him.
I mean, it's possible.
No, Adam was the first one removed here from play on the first round of this overtime. 30 seconds left to go. Pojo Man's going to be moving in. He's opening up the second panel. They're opening up the second garage door with his thermite charge. Hot and Cold looking through the drop hatch, which he previously opened, but he has a lot of corridors to watch. He doesn't know if someone's coming from Visa, Circle Stairs, or even Yellow Stairs. With that, Mint's also going to lay down a couple shots here. Looks as though he gets tagged up from below.
10 seconds to go.
And Pojo Man trying to move in forward, does not have the cover anymore, and this round will go to Vertical Gaming. There it is, last man alive is going to be Mint. Gets taken out by Eclipse. Young picked up a 2K there towards the end of the round, and that is going to be Vertical Gaming winning round number 1 of overtime.
Good defense there from Vertical, and yet again, FlipSid tactics foiled by the fact that they spent too much time away from their actual site push. It forced them into kind of collapsing onto the site in a way they really didn't want to, without a significant man advantage and no real pressure.
Now we are going to have Garage chosen here by FlipSid.
This reminds me of the earlier seasons of Pro League meta, where Garage was the bomb site so frequently chosen on this map. And it saw a shift in Season 3 of Year 1, Invitational, and the previous season we saw of Year 2, Season 1, where most teams preferred the top floor. But as you can tell here, FlipSid and Vertical very heavily favoring the basement, almost not wanting to go to the top floor at all. We saw a lot of lobby defenses outside of basements.
Now we just talked about how this meta of, or this strategy of holding the bathroom on main floor during a bottom bomb site hold, we've not seen yet today, and that has basically spawned or become kind of a norm out of the Latin American scene. So FlipSid taking another one from the playbook here. They're going to be taking onto this top floor.
This is the second time that they've done this so far in this map, and the first time it didn't really get any results. They just kind of ended up defaulting off of it inevitably. But I don't know. I think it's a good call here to try and keep themselves in play. Vertical are going to be attacking onto the main garage primarily yet again.
We are still going to have Chala try to hard bandit trick this, or bandit swap.
Very dangerous for what Chala is doing right here.
Now you can see what he's done. He's placed down 2 batteries, forcing either a Thatcher EMP to come out or forcing Avian to that left garage wall, which is where he's looking to get this destroyed. Chala trying to bait this out. He's going to go for the right wall.
Oh, Chala reads.
No, oh, he reads it wrong,
Oh,
and Avian
no.
able to bait it out. No, he's still baiting it. He's faking this back and forth. And there it will be. Chala, unfortunately, not able to get the upper hand. Wall will get opened up. Same with the second wall.
That's some next level thermite play coming out from Avian. Good job to him there.
And we will have Slash getting injured. I want to say that might have been by a shot or some C4. We'll have to stay tuned and see. But that was Diffuser as well as Slash. Slash is going to get picked up with about 50 health. Another C4 getting tossed on out, though. That's going to destroy the shield of Blackbeard, as well as do about 30 damage to King George.
I think that might have been the mint impact grenades, although I'm not entirely sure what it was. Yeah, I think it was the mint impact grenades.
You're right.
Interesting. So the C4 maybe downed the Habana earlier. We didn't exactly see what went on there. Slash looking to push in to the kitchen, utilizing those flashbangs.
Likely what he's going to be doing here is, like you said, tossing down those flashbangs. However, Hot and Cold is still inside of this bathroom, tossing out 1 gas grenade. That's going to stop the push. I believe that was Eclipse. For moving over, they have just dropped inside a kitchen now. They're going to take on out King George, picking up the kill to Hot and Cold. Avian getting Chala, and Slash getting at him. Slash getting another kill there with a bearing 9. And last but not last is going to be Pojo Man. He tries getting 1 kill into Slash. He does successfully, but Eclipse is there. We are going to have the first map go into the hands of Vertical Gaming, 6-4 here on Consulate.
Despite that, a very respectable 15 kills coming out from Adam. Well played to you, sir. Now, this was FlipSid's map selection here, and Vertical Gaming winning it is going to put a lot of pressure onto FlipSid to win on Skyscraper. Vertical Gaming obviously stratted out Skyscraper, so will FlipSid have done the same? That is the question moving forward. If Vertical Gaming are the ones who are the only ones who have the real strategies on Skyscraper, then FlipSide is going to find some really difficult play in the next map.
Yeah, I mean, I believe FlipSid ultimately has strategies on this. I mean, they're a pro league team. We'll have to see, but I do think we kind of jinxed Adam there. Two straight rounds, he stayed at 15 kills.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that previous map and see what happened there to cause the victory for VG.
Now this was Eclipse tagging the shots there onto Pojo, man. That actually, if I remember correctly, helped win the round. The gas grenades from that actually ended up pulling the Twitch, I think it was, off the bomb.
Here was Adam's ace. Well, the butt end of it anyway. And then King George with some nice shots through the floor onto Mint. Oh, there you go.
Now, this is Adam's jump out. He had killed the, I think that was the Black, or the Asher, someone up top. It might have been the Buck. The Buck up top got down and finished off the Thatcher, and then ultimately the Blackbeard. But ultimately, what we saw there, I think was what I was expecting, with the rounds going back and forth, ultimately going to overtime, and us seeing a very close game.
I thought it would be FlipSid to come out on top of that first map on Consulate. They seemed very confident picking it against VG, but it seemed like the VG roster was just a little bit more well-rounded on that map. They all putting in their own work. Meanwhile, Adam really had to put in a lot of the work for FlipSid, seemingly. However, you know, can't attribute it all to one or particular player ever. In this case, in this level of play, it really just comes down to teamwork. Now, VG going on to Skyscraper, their own map pick. They've obviously put in a lot of work there. They've got to be feeling very confident. Yeah, and the last time, if I recall, us seeing VG actually push, use Skyscraper often was back in the Monty meta. That Monty meta has since come to an end, if you will. For those of you who don't know, Monty's revolver used to have a spread that was about this big, and the revolver would two-shot a lot of people, three-shot others. So you could just walk up to, fully extend, walk up to any defender, unextend, and instantly fire off 3 shots on the hip fire and down anyone or just kill them outright, and it would give you such an advantage. But then they nerfed the spread a lot, made it a lot wider, so that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah,
and so kind of got phased out.
That's kind of the end of the Monty meta. But what we saw previously was that being pushed onto the T room and so on and so forth. But here we're going to get into the game now. Again, this is map number 2. It's going to be Vertical Gaming versus FlipSid Tactics. FlipSid starting out on attack, and Vertical going to be on defense. Map number 2, first map win in favor of Vertical Gaming, and they win this. They will meet with Excellence next week. Again, both undefeated teams here this season.
Yeah, and if that is the case, if they both go on to be undefeated, we're going to see one of them lose, obviously, in the match. It's not going to matter overall. It will change the seeding moving forward into LAN. So you obviously want to be seed number 1 coming out of your region. The winner of this match will go on to fight against Excellence to decide who that seed will be. But again, it's going to be like we've seen in previous seasons where both teams are kind of like, we're going to LAN. We'll take whatever seed we can get. We're not going to pull out all the stops. We're not going to show you all the fancy strats. We're just going to play our game. However, right now in this match, VG, obviously, like you said, looking to remain undefeated and go up against Excellence Gaming to decide who of those 2 teams is going to be the one to lose their undefeated streak so far in the season. We've never, I don't recall us seeing ever an undefeated season for anyone.
I don't recall that either. So, oh, Slash is going to push on out, and unfortunately, Chala was in a perfect position. Slash, I think we got a little bit of tunnel vision there.
Yeah, a little bit of mistake there, a little too aggressive from Slashug. And now FlipSid will have a sound man advantage moving forward in this round with almost no work expended at all, or time for that matter. I like his enthusiasm, though. They're trying to set the pace already in his favors of his team. It's just not going to work out, unfortunately.
And that's one of the things that we see, not just Slash, but just players in general do, is they need to play their speed of pace, their team's speed of pace, and that's what Slash does. And a lot of times, if you lose your speed of pace, you kind of get in a funk on the game, or in your map, your round, whatever it could be. And that ultimately would just snowball effect into a loss for you. But here we see these pro teams going at it, still doing their same thing, regardless of it working or not, because it's a calculated risk.
Another run out foiled, this time by Mint's Claymore. And as you can tell, VG way too aggressive. A backup run out will come out, though, from Eclipse and take out Chala. Good run out there to get the refrag. If they had let it linger and just played it out in a 3 versus 5, it would have almost certainly been their doom. Nice job there by VG for the recovery.
Eclipse did bite a few bullets for that engagement, but like you said, did come out on top. 3-on-3 now with Young taking the SMG-11 to Adam's face, and we have a Eclipse and Young and Avian. Last 3 alive on the defensive squad. Pojo, Mint, and Hot and Cold. Last 3 on the attack squad. Eclipse working his way up the main staircase. This is going to be the south stairs next to Drum. Avian gets droned out inside of the yellow cubby, changes sides, and Hot and Cold, you saw him just toss in one of the Hibana charges. That is just to get rid of those ADSs, allow him to get the frag grenades in, the flashbangs in. You saw the barbed wire getting removed right there by Pojo Man's nade.
Only 37 seconds left to go. FlipSid need to make this push happen right now before the time runs out.
Hot's going to be pushing in. You see the gas grenades trying to push and stop their own push here. Now Hot and Cold tags one down on the Avian. You got 2 kills left to go. We got Young. Oh, the gas grenade out. Hot and Cold will also get injured. Last man alive is going to be Pojo Man. He's outside the window, and unfortunately, oh no, the plant did go down. I didn't even see it in time. Pojo will be the last man alive against Eclipse and Young. Now there's the one Claymore. Wonderful job there. Young and Pojo. Last still alive. Young didn't give away his position. Pojo Man goes for the pre-fire.
Oh no,
he actually
Pojo!
gets it. What happened there?
Oh no.
Pojo Man, unfortunately, will not win that engagement. Young swinging out on top, that SMG-11, proving how powerful it is in the hands of the right player. And we will have round number 1 go to the defensive squad of Vertical Gaming.
And a technical 4K there by Young as well. Very impressive play to him. He did manage to sweep up those 2 kills of the downs on the staircase, which may have not been his, but regardless, excellent play to Young. And more importantly, winning that fight despite having been detected. What happened there? Must have been a little bit of a whiff there from Pojo Man. That is truly unfortunate for FlipSid. Now, we will have VG getting the first round win of this map, despite losing 2 players purely to runouts and 3 players, well, actually technically 3 players to runouts if you count that last one, and 2 to Claymore. So kind of an unfortunate round for FlipSid, but luckily for VG, but Young stepping it up and saying 4K.
Yeah, I think it was Slash was the Valkyrie, got picked off by the Blackbeard. You had King George by the Claymore. You had another Claymore kill by Hot and Cold. Yeah,
towards the end. And whatever the case be, still VG managed to prevail. Now, top floor defense coming out from FlipSid. This is going to be their first defense round of this map. Now, again, the pressure's really on FlipSid here, as they did lose that map number 1, which was Consulate.
5 seconds to go. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Now, we haven't seen too much, we'll call it variation or off-standard defensive holds.
I like this roam coming out from Mint right now on FlipSid. This is slightly different, not really off-standard as you were describing. Definitely right there. I mean, it's pretty much basic. But I like that they have the barbed wire and the reinforced doorways. That's going to allow for at least sound prompts if the attackers choose to try and counter this roam, which is actually, it looks like 3 people via the east side of the building. We'll see if VG try to attack onto just the top floor, or if they actually try to counter onto the roamers directly. There are only 2 anchors from what I can see. Only 2 anchors from FlipSid. They've also turned this geisha room into a murder box, opening up all of the walls instead of trying to play inside of geisha. Now that's a play that we've seen used a couple times before. Obviously that mirror window inside the A wall, A bomb site looking towards geisha is going to slow down any attack into geisha, if not just outright kill anyone who chooses to challenge that angle. It's also good at holding drum, as you can see. Double walls being opened there for Hot and Cold to utilize.
Now it looks as though some C4 is going to get thrown from underneath and not hit its target, which was, I believe, Slash.
Yeah, I think he saw the heartbeat moving forward and just kind of went a little bit early there.
First kill from Chala will go onto Eclipse, finishing off the sledge. However, we also have King George getting taken out of commission by Hot and Cold. Slash is now going to have to move into drum here, but it looks as though we have got Hot still trying to prevent this push. Diffuser is in his hands. He's going to move on over to Dragon, get on over to the north stairs, I believe that is, the north balcony, and try to push in from that avenue as there's only 60 seconds left to go. Avian's going to go over and collapse with him, regroup, and there might be a trade of the diffuser here momentarily. We'll have to stay tuned and see. Slash still working his way by these north stairs. There's a kill. Nice shot there by Avian onto Pojo Man.
looks like that he was in the B bomb site all the way from the A window, possibly.
We've got Adam still peeking up from this barbed wire-filled stairs. With the smoke grenades going in, Slash is looking to try to use his breaching charge, get rid of some of the barbed wire here. Adam gonna go for a peek, looking for the shots, but his head gets tapped by Slash. Wonderful job there, pre-fire in the corner, pre-fire in the top of the stairs. Now we are gonna have a 3-on-3, 25 seconds left to go. Young is gonna hop here into B, as well as Habana. There's Avian. Now Avian will try to go for this plant down. Hot and Cold, I don't think hears it. He's going to move on over. Goes for the shots on the Slash, but not working for him. Slash picks up, I believe that's a 3K. Chala stops the diffuser. And then Slash has to move through this barbed wire, allowing Chala to refocus himself. Gets a 2K. He's now going to move on over. A 1-on-1. 3 seconds left to go. Chala needs to play time, or Young will have to plant this diffuser.
Yeah, Chala's easily going to be able to win this. Young has got so much
We say easily,
time.
but can he move over? He's going to look for the shots.
Oh,
He pre-fires.
he shoots the wrong
There he
spot.
goes. There it goes. The pre-fire spot is not where Young can be found. However, there was enough time for Chala to renegotiate his location and got the kill down. FlipSid wins this shot, or wins this round. It's 1-1.
That was inches away from being a VG clutch. But yeah, so because the time was on 0 seconds, Chala being a 3-speed, he could rotate from, even if it were a drum, he would have had time to rotate over and deny the defuse plant, as he knew that Young had to stick it. So that was a good clutch there from Chala, playing it very smart for his team. And now 1-1, like you said. Barbecue Kish are going to be the second defense from VG. We've seen a couple different choices when it comes to second bomb site on this map, but Barbecue Kitchen seems to be the primary secondary. Primary secondary. That almost sounds funny, but that is.
I was about to say. I was like, it's a.
The first picked secondary bomb site for the majority of teams.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Now, FlipSid, they got to really turn it up on this map. They have to push for that third map, which is going to be Chalet if we get to it, as they were unsuccessful again on that previous, on Consulate.
Now again, the winner of this series will go on, secure their spot to land, will go on to play Excellence Gaming after their defeat over, or their victory, we'll say, over Elevate. The loser, however, will have to play Elevate next week in the playoffs, and the winner from that series will guarantee themselves the third spot in the LAN event finals in Cologne, Germany.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, so obviously the pressure's on, but they still have that extra little gap of reassurance when they go up against Elevate GG. Well, whoever loses this goes up against Elevate GG. FlipSid going to spawn entirely almost on the west side of the building. They'll be looking to apply quite a lot of pressure early on. They do not have a thermite to open up that kitchen wall, but they have a Habana who will suffice. Also no Thatcher, which means if there are any batteries on it right now, which there are not, interesting, it would have slowed down the attack, but because there isn't, it won't.
We're going to see the wall get opened up all the way, enough for a vault in, but they do need to be wary of Eclipse and King George topside. You can see that Chala's already pre-firing, and he knows that that's the angle that's going to be held here.
Because Chala went for that pre-fires, it means the King's going to come off the angle. That's unfortunate there. Could have gotten that kill, utilizing the Blackbeard shield. Oh, barely missing Avian there through the wall. I'm not sure if the bar is, actually the bar, yeah, no, the bar would have covered Avian. Avian going to be playing, pushing up into the top floor to try and cover that vertical game. Doesn't look like it's the focus of FlipSid though right now. They seem to be primarily focused on simply pressuring into the bomb site.
Yeah, there is Mint. He's going to tag Avian with about 10 damage done to him. He's going to move on down. Says, okay, I know where Castle is. I know he's going to be holding that nice little pixel angle. So Mint right now is cleared out B site. Looks as though Young picks off the shots there onto Adam. Now that's not too much of a detriment. They have cleared out the majority of the site. Mint's moving in forward. Hot Cold picks up that shot onto Avian. Now A site has been cleared out. You're going to see Hot and Cold move in for this plant. But the shots down from Bar, wonderful shot there by Eclipse to finish off Mint. Hot's just waiting for the opportunity to get this plant down, waiting for his team to get into position. Loading back. He knows that as soon as he goes for this, he's going to be putting himself in danger. There, his team is in position now. That was a very smart move. If you go for the plant early, your team's not in position, it won't work out for you. Pojaman able to get the cover onto Young. And Slash still drastically hurt. Eclipse now shooting through the bar. Hot and Cold's going to go for this. Prone shot behind the bar. Looks to go. Tags him down, but does not get the final one that counts. Slash and Eclipse last two alive. They're both drastically hurt. One bullet from any weapon will finish them off. We are going to see Hot stay inside of the bomb site. Pojo Man looking on through. Saw the headshot, but missed his target. Slash also trying to go for some kills here from Kitchen. And there's Hot and Cold getting that prone shot onto Eclipse. Last man is Slash. He's going to move in forward and be taken out, and that is going to be round 3 going to the hands of FlipSid. 2-1 at the moment in favor of Flip.
So Vertical Gaming had no way to cover the barbecue, as you can tell there. They had Castle playing by the barbecue bar, but he rotated off of that to go upstairs. And because Vertical Gaming didn't open up the barbecue wall, as we see so commonly done on that defense, there was nothing in the way of actual defense for that site. We might have had some holes above, but I doubt it, and more importantly, they weren't utilized. Now, FlipSid are going to be going into the same bomb site now, barbecue and kitchen. We'll see if they're going to open up that wall or if they're just going to kind of ignore the A bomb site. It's a good read by FlipSid to try and work around the roam game upstairs and focus their efforts entirely on A, because they knew A was not being covered, or at least they had a hint at the idea that A wasn't being covered whatsoever.
Yeah, no, they droned out A very thoroughly, and that's where they spotted out, I believe it was the castle on the north stairs. They ended up picking him off, and that allowed Mint to push in. Now, Mint did get picked off through the bar of from the center stairs, the main stairwell, but ultimately it was a good drone game from FlipSid.
Yeah.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers have
now we'll see if FlipSid's able to extend their lead one more round and put themselves in 3-1, or if VG's going to get this comeback. They are going to be attacking similarly. However, it seems like they might apply some pressure to the delivery, which, if you don't know, is the first floor south room entranceway from the south spawn.
Now you can see what he did just there, what Hot and Cold did. He opened up the floor where he himself got the plant down last round. That's going to allow, if the roamers are not cleared out from above, that's going to allow them full coverage of that corner to then pre-fire and destroy the diffuser planter.
Yeah, meanwhile, even though Hotten's playing that as a defender, he can move if he needs to. He doesn't have to worry too much about that vertical pressure. It's not like he's the one who has to stick a defuse plan. Now, King George is going to be pressuring in through this north balcony. He's going to see the barbed wire, and that's going to slow him down just a tad. However, as a Blackbeard, he can kind of force his way through those engagements.
There it is. Oh, a good knife from Slash onto Adam after being disoriented by the yokai. He's not going to get back off site and just prone for a little bit. Make sure that he's going to be back in commission to re-engage.
Yeah, those yokai echoes, or those echo bursts, really do slow you down quite a bit.
Now Avian's going to work his way over towards Geisha, which I feel is where he wants to open up that drop patch, which has been reinforced this time around. Young, however, will pick off Mint, and Hot and Cold's going to go for a shot here, but actually run away from Bar as Young throws in some bullets through the wall.
By attackers.
He's got 60 seconds left to go, a 5-on-3. Though the wall is going to get opened up here by Slash, possibly. No, he's just used that Hibana to
love this
angle.
The ADS. Love this angle from Slash up here. Sees through both the bomb sites and even further.
Hot and Cold getting picked off by Eclipse. This round is going to go to VG. Chala's last man alive. He's barricaded outside of site. He's going to open up. Tries to go for Slash.
No.
A miss there will cause Slash enough time to rotate over, get the shot down, and Vertical Gaming takes round number 4. 2-2 now.
Good flick there from Slashog to secure that kill. Now, round number 5, and like you said, a even scoreboard here. Now, this is actually similar to what we were seeing on Consulate earlier. VG, or FlipSid taking the early lead, and then VG starting their comeback. Karaoke Tea Room going to be the next defense from VG.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
This has been a bomb site that has favored the defenders more often than not. We'll see if that trend continues now for VG. Slashhog, as you can tell, they're having a really good match so far.
He is, as well as Young. Young top of the leaderboard with 8 kills. So, I mean, they're both working in tandem, doing very good jobs together.
But overall, only 4 rounds played. There's still plenty of frag potential here.
10 seconds left.
It looks like we're going to see a camera out by Dragon, possibly.
5 seconds to go.
We'll see where this one lands. There's so many great places to put Valkyrie cameras on this map. Oh yeah, love that Valkyrie cam. Could be in the east tower, and that's going to see the entirety of north balcony, which is going to give Slashhog a lot of maneuverability. Love that C4 as well. Even if you don't play there, when you detonate it, you can see somebody playing on the north balcony, then you detonate it, and they're going to be staring at that hole guaranteed for at least 30 seconds.
Activating.
Unless they have to actually push into the site, like, immediately.
Oh, unfortunately, the toss, the toss was a little bit off, and therefore that Valkyrie camera will not give as much intel as he was expecting it to.
It actually might have been a successful one. It really depends. I think he might be playing for a safe camera, especially considering Pojoman's playing on that IQ. Pojoman's likely to spot out the C4 and the camera both, which is going to tell Pojoman, oh, well, this is a fake C4.
It was also a soft wall, so you could just pop one shot through the wall and get it.
Yep.
He might have been more than 20 meters away, because I didn't see Pojoman actually go for the shots down onto
He hasn't seen it yet. We'll see if he finds it eventually, though. As you can see here, FlipSid very much centered around this north balcony, trying to just push on into the B and A bomb site. Ooh, and Eclipse is actually going to rotate over to utilize the C4 when it eventually gets detonated. I like this play here.
There it goes, gets opened up. Eclipse called for it to get open, and he goes for the shots. They haven't even heard it. Eclipse picks up that kill into Adam after Adam was able to get a kill there to Slash. Now, that is going to be a good trade there. Slash being taken out. Hot and Cold has taken quite a bit of damage, though. He's going to be outside of North Stairs. Now, with nades going through, Pojoman, I don't think that was exactly where he wanted to toss, so he's going to have to back out before getting destroyed by it. Barbed wire still going to be in place. And with 60 seconds left to go, a 4-on-4. Chala still out here by the B window trying to push in for Young. He's flashed them all out, or at least he's thinking he did. And Gas Grenade will force Chala back.
Here comes the rush, though, from Hot and Cold, taking control of those northwest stairs, trying to apply pressure to Young, get rid of him. Meanwhile, mid will take out King George, and it's looking pretty good for FlipSid.
It's a 3-on-4. They know that Young's going to be inside of the B site. Avian coming out strong with a shotgun. Turns on over, tags 1, tags 2, tags 3. He's going to get a 3K here. Avian with a shotgun onto the Echo. Wonderful job. Chala's going to be the last man alive. In a 3-on-1, Chala will not win this engagement, especially needing to vault through this window. And therefore, we are going to see Vertical Gaming win this round. Unless some miracle happens. He tags the shots through the couch. Young peeks on up, grabs that SMG-11, and takes out Chala. Round 5 going to the hands of VG.
Everything seemed to be in way of FlipSid winning that round, but then Avian just steps up with this shotgun and says, no, sir. A great push by him with that excellent 3K. Now, VG with the lead, I think the first time they've had it on this map, and they will be 3-2. FlipSid choosing to defend the karaoke tea room in this round. I mean, all that control that FlipSid had was just entirely negated by a 3-armor with a nice shotgun play.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And it really did seem like they were poised to win that round. Pulse going to be coming out for FlipSid. We've seen this before. Pulse is going to play downstairs. In fact, we saw a 3-man roam on the last time FlipSid defended karaoke downstairs. And it was an interesting strategy, and I don't think it worked out for them. Yeah, no, I think VG just pushed aggressively into the bomb sites. Oh, actually what happened was, yeah, VG pushed aggressively into the bomb site. They seemed to have control, and then it was a nice clutch by Chala actually on that bandit, really gauging his fights well, and managing to put it into a time victory. Well, not a time victory exactly, but essentially a time victory because Young had to stick the defuse plant.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
Now we are going to spot, like we said, FlipSid up here in the tea room karaoke, which has been the I want to call it the preferred bomb site from almost every Pro League team that has played Skyscraper so far.
Oh, by far and away, yeah. No, Karaoke is easily the preferred bomb site. I don't think I've seen a team that actually doesn't go to Karaoke, ever. Whether it be in Pro League or elsewhere. I'm sure there is one, though. I'm sure there's one team out there.
You just created a challenge for teams out there, by the way.
So FlipSid going to be using the same mirror window and the same strategy when it comes to Geisha, opening up the entire Geisha wall instead of playing inside of it. Now, when VG takes control, well, air quotes, takes control of Geisha, they're actually going to find themselves in a really bad spot because they're going to be challenging onto a mirror window which has full visual onto them.
We've actually seen a different kind of hold creating Geisha to be a kill box, and that's actually been the mirror window in the middle hallway facing Geisha, like inside of the Geisha facing in.
Yeah, that is super dangerous, but obviously FlipSid not going to be bringing it. It's a little bit safer, I guess, to play inside the A bomb site with that mirror. But if you think about it, I mean, a lot of control does go onto that hallway for the defenders. I think the reason they're doing that is because they still are playing this 3 roamers downstairs.
Yep. And now Slash is going to be spotted out here on this window sill. I think Mint's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to put that cardiac sensor away, whip out that UMP, and try to go for this kill. But Slash is just playing very hectically, repelling very hectically here on the balcony. Young still kind of cautious, doesn't want to pop all the way there into the Geisha room just yet. King George moves on forward, and he's going to miss all the shots there.
Up and to the right.
Missed most of the shots. Pojo Man has just minute health, and he will be taken out there by Avian as Young moves on forward to finish off Adam. Mint will be removed from play by Slash, and it's going to be a 5-on-2. Chala and Hot and Cold, last 2 alive. Chala picks off 1, he's going to rotate over, and it looks as though a shotgun from Hot and Cold will finish off Eclipse. Plant is going to go down here by Avian inside of the B site. We are going to have shots move on forward. Looks as though Chala gets taken out, and last minute alive is going to be Hot and Cold. He's got a shotgun, but it's not enough to go up against King George and the head shield of a Blackbeard. And Vertical Gaming will come out on top 4-2.
Love this focus onto the B bomb site, especially considering there's so heavy of a roam game here. This is an excellent strategy from Vertical Gaming, really reading into that roamer game and just saying, hey, we'll just tack onto the bomb site. And as you can tell here, because they put Slash Hug on that window, and it looks like Slash Hug opened up a long angle into Barbecue, because Slash Hug was playing that, the Pulse was unable to come from below and C4 as the rest of the attackers pushed in through the B window. And also the Mira just didn't challenge at all. The Mira played a little bit too passively there, and because of that, because of those 2 factors, we are seeing now VG putting themselves on match point on the second map of this series. Match point, series point, of course.
So what do you think VG has to do differently on this hold from, I believe it was 2 or 4 rounds ago?
They need to open up the A wall.
They need to open up A wall.
If they open up the A wall, then they can actually hold against a simple waltz on in and plant the diffuser. They also didn't play anyone by tables. As you can see where Avian is right now. Those turned over tables give a lot of control onto the A bomb site. And there was nobody there last time they were defending this site. So they just need to open up that A wall and play a little bit more focused on A. They could also open up holes from above. I mean, the guiding light, basically, is just, hey, hold the A bomb site.
They need more visibility into A.
Yeah, yep. And it looks like they might do that. They might have just that, as Eclipse is going to be playing inside of Karaoke, which vertical control is then going to be there for the defenders. Onto A.
I think I heard an impact grenade by Avian, and it hurt himself.
Yeah, but negligible amount of damage, despite the damage.
Knock, knock. Drone ready.
We're going to spot a run through of the wall there into kitchen. Chala is still playing the same angle, making sure that he's going to keep King George off of the drop patch.
That A wall isn't open yet again, but as you can see here, Vertical Gaming, that's that impact grenade you heard earlier. They are going to be applying a lot more attention to Karaoke in order to use the vertical game to try and deny that defuse plan.
Yeah, I mean, Vertical Gaming, you hit it right there. There are 4 members here from Vertical Gaming upstairs trying to look down through pre-made holes to prevent the plant from going down.
Yeah.
Now, last time it seemed like there might have been a little bit too many members from VG off-site, and that allowed Mint to push in hot and cold to get the plant down. But ultimately, it's going to come down to how do they collapse back onto site, or how do they keep control of the site. So though Young was in a little bit of an engagement over by the pantry, Mint swings on in with his own kill.
Yeah, this is again just VG seemingly neglecting the north side of the building. Not playing anyone where you see Mint right now on defense, and then more importantly, anyone to try and stop this A push. They completely ignored that window which Mint vaulted through. Clip's going to trade it back, though, onto Adam. That's a good kill.
Looks like Pojo Man and Eclipse going to go head-to-head here. Eclipse will fall, but a nice trade from Slash will take out Mint.
So every time FlipSid puts themselves ahead, VG with a swift answer and the refrag.
Now we do have Avian, Slash, and King George. Last man alive, hot and cold, is going to be spotted out here. Will he be seen? He will be seen, shot, and taken out. Avian with a good line of sight there on the hot and cold.
So despite the fact that they're not applying a lot of pressure to the northeast side of the first floor, they can still deny that diffuse plant. That's very important for VG.
Now what that means is that Pojo Man needs to figure out how to get rid of Slash, how to get rid of Avian, how to get rid of King, because there are 20 seconds left to go, and Chala's already committed himself at the moment to trying to be outside. He's going to try to hop in here, and it looks as though Slash tags him down, tries to get his toe shots. One health and a plant.
I think he's
Will
got the
this
safe
happen?
spot.
1 health and a plant. Looks like it comes down. King George, no, he takes him out. Pojo Man's got to rush in forward, tag down the last two, and Avian behind the bar will not be seen, will not be killed, and we will have FlipSid unable to win this round. Match point game will go to Vertical Gaming. And that is going to be the second map. That's going to be the series. That's going to be one land spot secured here for Vertical Gaming.
I have to say, a much more decisive win in the favor of Vertical Gaming than I was expecting.
Agreed.
I was thinking this was going to be map number 3 overtime in each and every one of these maps, but VG clearly coming out on top here on both.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were well prepared on Skyscraper, which was, again, their pick.
Yeah.
And Consulate, unfortunately for FlipSid, they might have taken them to overtime, but they did not secure the win. So here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Vertical Gaming coming out with a 2-0 victory, again, being our second undefeated team going into the final round of playoffs.
Yeah, excellence versus